Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and welcome back to The Void. Uh, this is WandaVision, Season 1, Episodes 1 and 2. I'm actually doing those back to back because that's how Disney Plus put them out there, and I'm not going to do separate episodes for it. So before I get started, let me take care of some business first, then we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video at the very end that pops up here. And basically what YouTube does, takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you want to know when we're on live again next, you get the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule up there. I change it out. I try to every week. This week's been a little bit hectic because I've been moving. And of course, still no furniture. But hopefully that will change next week. But anyway, there's also the links to my social media up there, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon. No tier server on the Patreon. Waiting until I hit 1,000 subscribers, which I'm getting very, very close. So very, very close. Under 40 subscribers left. So getting there. Also, I have all the links to my pages, so my Facebook page, my YouTube channel page here, and also for those of you who still have Facebook, a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. With that said, spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch it, or episodes, I should say. Go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video you can comment down below in the comment section. All right. So, Marvel, the new Marvel Studios TV, I guess you could say. This is their first non-Jeff Loeb production, and I liked it a lot. They did a good job with this. I know a lot of people are going, well, I don't get it, and all this stuff. I'll go into some explanation of some stuff because there's some stuff I caught and some stuff I had to do a little research on too because it was very obscure, but it was in there. And I actually had to go back and keep looking. I'm looking right now. Basically, I'm just watching it off of my TV, my computer screen, because I don't have my TV. Because again, it's on a truck someplace in San Diego still. Yeah, I know where my stuff is now. I just need those motherfuckers to drive it up here. That withstanding, so the way this is set up, we have. I guess they're going through the sitcoms of yesteryear, if you will. So the first episode was set in the 50s, second episode set in the 60s, and I guess we're going to go 70s, 80s, 90s, and so on. And it's very kind of, it's everything set in black and white. We have some weirdness going on with Wanda and Vision. And I mean, Vision shouldn't be alive, right? Because the soul stone, the soul infinity gem was taken from him, and he was also killed by Thanos, right? So I know that Scarlet Witch came back, so she obviously is much more powerful and has brought him back at some point in time. And now they are in some kind of weird, I don't know, virtual reality, if you will. We don't know for sure. But what we do know is at the very end of the first episode, there is a symbol both on the TV screen and on the notebook of someone who is watching them on the old CRT screen. And that symbol is for S.w.o.r.d. Now, for those of you who don't know what S.w.o.r.d is, S.w.o.r.d stands for Sentient Weapon Observation Response Division. Or if you go by their original designation when they first appeared in Astonishing X-Men number 6 back in 2004, they were the Sentient World Observation Response Division. And they're overseeing this. So basically what they are is the extraterrestrial arm of S.h.i.e.L.D., if you will. And we saw this at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home. If you stay to the very end of the credits there, Nick Fury was out in space with a whole bunch of Kree, and he was setting up a new division of something. And this most likely is what it is S.w.o.r.d. at this point. And there's a lot of hints of what's going on in the first episode is that it's revolving around children. And people are asking them, like, where did you come from? Why are you here? When were you married? Why don't you have any kids? That kind of stuff. And even the calendar they have on the wall, if you notice, it's a little girl sitting by herself in on a couch with a TV on. That's it. Nobody else is in that. It's a very forlorn kind of picture, and I think that's supposed to represent Wanda. And I think we're getting into some of the id, if you will, of what's going on in her mind. I mean, her brother's dead. She's lost Vision as well. Not her vision, but Vision, the character. And it looks like she's brought him back now at this point. So I actually kind of like this episode where we're getting stuff, we're doing world building. Yes, at this point, we don't know where we're at. And the second episode, which goes into the 60s, because she's wearing pantsuits now at this point. And this is actually really savvy on the part of the writers, the producers, all this kind of stuff. Is in the 50s, you actually had dresses and whatnot, and you're supposed to be prim and proper. In the 60s, they went to the pantsuits and a little more risque, showing some skin and stuff like that. So they're actually following these little things as well as adding to their own story. So they're doing little homages to different genres within this, and I'm kind of liking this, what they're doing. Hey, Salty, by the way. Stanley says, who wants her to have children? Her own ticking clock or someone? Her. She is the one that wants children at this point. I believe it's having something to do with, again, where do you come from? This whole question is, who are you? Where do you come from? Why are you here? All that kind of stuff is all her internal mechanisms, if you will. And it's, again, the id, the ego, all that kind of stuff working into all of this. I don't know that much about psychology. People who know more about psychology probably will read more into this, but that's what I'm getting at there. Also, in the second episode, we find out at the very end that Wanda is pregnant, and she's actually fairly pregnant, probably about a good 4 months along at this point by the end of the episode. And they hear a noise outside, and we see this guy crawling up out of the sewer, out of the manhole cover, and he's wearing a beekeeper outfit. So my first thing was AIM. It's got to be AIM. But then on the back of his little beekeeper outfit was the sword symbol. And it's like, nope, it's sword. It's very, very, it's sword. It's got to be at this point. Yes, Silly Bro, the very Mary Tyler Moore and Dick Van Dyke show. Exactly. They even did the whole, he was going to trip over the chair thing, but he walks through it in the first episode. I love that. And by the way, so Deborah Jo Rupp is in this from, that 70s show. I love they brought her in for this. She does like sitcoms so well. She's a great actress, but the sitcom-y kind of thing she does well, especially being like a sitcom mom and stuff like that. And I loved her in this. And then the big surprise for me was Emma Caulfield Ford. And if that name sounds familiar, for those of you who watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Anya. So that was who Dottie was, the queen of the cul-de-sac, as Agnes was calling her. And Agnes herself, I'm loving Agnes, the character. Agnes is doing really, really well. So all this stuff is working together. And where are we going with all of this? So again, like I said, S.w.o.r.d was introduced in Astonishing X-Men #6 in 2004, which was to oversee mutants, if you will, and was actually overseen by a mutant themselves, the S.w.o.r.d organization, if you will. So this is going to bring mutants into the MCU, is what we're going with here. So Morks, what you were talking about, where is this going? It's bringing mutants into the MCU. That's why this series is important. It's a mini series. It's 9 episodes long, half-hour episodes. but this is going to drag mutants into the MCU. I don't know if Wanda's going to will them into existence or what's going to happen, but I we're going to see what happens here. Apple Crow says, "I'm here. Not the biggest Marvel fan, but I wanted to see how this is received." Is the nosy neighbor Hydra? There was a Strucker. So yes. So Stanley, that's the other thing is we also had commercials in both episodes. So the first commercial was for Stark Industries, their Toastmaster 2000, which is supposed to be a dig at Vision, of course. And then in the second episode, we had a commercial for Strucker timepieces, which is supposed to be how Wanda was created. So these are creations. Everything that you're seeing here is how things are created. So Vision was built by Stark Industries, or Tony Stark, if you will. Wanda was actually created by Strucker and, well, Hydra, if you will, because you saw those little Hydra symbols on the watch itself. That's how she got her powers. That's how she came into being with those powers. So it's all about creation. And like I said, this is all pointing towards creating mutant kind, if you will, at this point, bringing them into being into the Marvel universe. Because we already know that Deadpool is coming around here, which I'll be talking about on Saturday, tomorrow. Yeah. Stanley says maybe a little too much homage to old TV show. Actually, I liked it. I dug it, Stanley. So I grew up on watching the old sitcoms and shit like that, in the afternoon, coming home after school, or on the weekends or something like that. And so I know all those old TV shows that they're referencing, and I'm waiting for the Lucy reference at some point, which I'm sure they'll do, but they'll probably just do it very, very small amount there. But yeah, it was actually kind of nice. Apple Crow says, "Is this a sort of Legion-ish, and perhaps not everything is as it seems and might be representative of reality?" Possibly, Apple Crow. I don't know for sure. So this is what I'm taking a stab at here, is that we're bringing mutant kind kicking and screaming into the MCU, and this is the way of doing it. We do know that an adult Monica Rambeau is going to be in Shield or S.w.o.r.d, excuse me, and in this series. So we do know that she has been cast. So yeah, there's that as well. Stanley says, "I'm not so familiar with those shows." Yeah, I grew up on all that stuff. So, the Mary Tyler Moore Show, the Dick Van Dyke Show. Oh God, what else is there? So that was what they were mainly drawing from those two. And then I Love Lucy, of course, which is probably going to come up. And then they're probably going to be doing Brady Bunch theme is what I'm pretty sure they're going to be doing some of that as well. They're probably going to do a little bit of Andy Griffith in there. And yeah, different country. Exactly. You didn't have that shit running 24/7 on TVs all the time. Bewitched. Thank you, Silly Bro. Yes, we had